Hello, members, and welcome to Things Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's sessions only, the investment talk today would be Ethereum ticker ETH. It's my second posting as of today. Respect to recording time of 12:05 p.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum currently trading $3,063, up about 6.88% so far. Respect to overall crypto market is relatively green today, besides specifically at polkadot, which is down about 1.56% so far. But overall crypto market is relatively green. And specifically on the topic of Ethereum, which is the key topic of discussion, is mainly driven by the news that got broken out earlier this morning from the research report coming out from JP Morgan, and then subsequent other media company has picked this up as well. On Ethereum price gets back to $3,000 level as institutional investors piles into Ether futures. Okay? And just to clarify that a little bit more with respect to the JP Morgan Chase report that came out, it's not really piling into Ether's futures, but rather than more of a asset reallocation from Bitcoin or other assets class, like from equity as well, into Ethereum, which subsequently drive some upward boost into the buying pressure, right? And as that get picked up, public investors also pile in as well, right? So on that front, obviously, we will have some buying pressure, and seems like Ethereum, which is characterized as more of a stable coin as well, kind of on par, with respect to a drag effect, with Bitcoin historically, right? Bitcoin used to be like the one that's like the motherlord that dragged up the whole market, but it seems like Ethereum is slowly picking up its pace and getting that institutional and that global recognition on driving some buying pressure as well, which is a good sign as Ether is slowly becoming from more of the silver player to more of a shifting more of the golden side as well, which is something we appreciate, right? So with respect to that news, in addition to that specific catalyst, let's see if there's other catalyst that I've been reading on the news so far. So Bazinga 2 hours ago talked about if you invest your 3 stimulus checks in Bitcoin, Dogecoin, or Ether, how much would it be today? And also with respect to Tesla stocks as well. So this is just kind of a trivial news. Talk about like numbers game, if you may. Nothing really substantive. I mean, we've seen how much we've surged so far, right? From that $17, $18 level for Ether to jump up all the way to the 4,000 to try to retest that all-time high again, but subsequently cool off because, at that point, the technical extremely hot, right? We were running, off steam, basically. The rocket ship was basically in the moon at that point when we hit the $4,028.94. The subsequent reverse back down, right? Whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast. And we've been keeping tabs, and we've been, talk about this on a daily basis. That is mainly coming from just the consecutive or positive news ever since the B word summit that we got the confirmations from Cathie Wood, Elon Musk, and even Jack Dorsey himself, right? We also heard recently that Twitter is allowing NFT adoptions as well, which obviously, historically we know that Jack Dorsey is some sort of a Bitcoin maximalist. Despite that affectation, still, utilize that as a form of utilization, obviously, for Ether to be on that platform. So it's something that is the genie's out of the box, if you may. It's too late to put that back into the lantern, if you may, in that sense. So it seems like, it is becoming more institutionalized. It is something that is, globally adopted now, which, for us, long-term investors, something we definitely appreciate, right? So another news 12 hours ago talking about, again, something we talked about already with respect to Phantom blockchain. Andre Kroji rolls out a new NFT marketplace to allow people to basically transact, exchange, or send their NFT value or art creation, or if you made like a JPEG format photo or whatever, or some sort of artistic creation from your friend or to a dealer from one another. So something good to know. More news around the NFT commercialization, if you may, right? Okay, so let's go back into the technical, and that's pretty much it on the news front. There isn't anything that is truly substantive, right? That beside that one specific catalyst that's really driving the surge across the market right now. So for Ether, I'm going to go through this first. I'm going to go through other coins as well. So Ether, we are leaping up, try to get to the next level, 3,150. We know that, right? 3,000 is not really a level of substantiveness. It's just a flat level that people buy at psychologically, because it's a hard number that, you know, when you hit that 1,000, that 2,000, that $3,000 level, right? But in reality, based on the technical, it is the 3,150, right? And we're trying to get back up there right now, okay? In terms of the technical side, on the MACD perspective, you could see that the golden line, which is the MACD line, is slowly crossing upward right now. So this is an early inning of a bullish indicator. So something we could watch out for, right? Again, the 3,000 was the dip, 2,700 was the dip, right? If the momentum is going to durate and it's going to cross upward, that means that bottom was technically 2,750. Or technically, if you talk about, if you like really want to be precise, the real level is 2,600. Okay, again, the 2,450 was a steal level, right? So again, I keep mentioning to you guys, 2,750 to 2,450 would be the frame of reference for you to buy it, right? So hopefully you guys got in. But if it's not, just buy. I think, you know, wait for this to cool off a little bit, because this is again, right, it's a news that got picked up. But again, news are old news, so it seems like it could be too late at the moment. So something we have to kind of think about. But in terms of the setup on the technical, which is never, you know, never lies to us, in terms of the risk profile right now, it seems like we are at more of a upper echelon of the oversold level at the 44, not 35, which is like basically 10 away. So it's not a bad level. At the same time, MACD is slowly crossing up right now, and we've been crossed down for a relatively long time, ever since that, you know, popped the balloon at the 3,900. So buying at the 3,000 is not a bad idea, actually, but I would wait off, because I typically like to buy it on a red day, not a green day. So wait until Monday to normalize a little bit, right? And then buy in, right? I think we should normalize a little bit from there, okay? So again, 3,000, 2,750 would be technically the dip that happened. That gave us two opportunities to buy. I kept mentioning, right? And I personally did buy at the 2,750. So congratulations to the ones that actually did buy the dip, okay? So moving on to other coins now. Bitcoin did reverse. You know, you see that we did all the way down to the 40K and subsequently reverse back up. It seems like, you know, despite the negative news, or not really negative, it's more of like a asset reallocation from Bitcoin to Ethereum. So it's not really a bad news per se, because it's not a good news either. That's why it's not driving as much, but it's getting dragged up by Ether, which is interesting to see. In terms of the signal right now, we are the same as Ethereum. We are slowly fusing up right now. Same on the RSI scale as well. So I would apply the same methodology as I was doing with Ethereum. At the 40,000, 37. I think 37 would technically be the bottom if we break the 40. But 40 is a relatively strong level that we have been sustaining so far. Dogecoin, again, 20 cents would be the level to dollar cost average at. We're not really getting dragged up as much as like other coins, obviously, because we're not really talking about Dogecoin. So again, and in terms of like, is it bullish right now? I think so, because I think Dogecoin is actually not a bad buy right now, despite being up about 1% so far at this current level as well. Cardano, we are slowly crossing up, you know, and you could see that the line is slowly fusing together to form that golden cross, which we appreciate. And we might see some, you know, surge coming actually if we cross upward. And that's like an indicator that will go leap up from there, right? But however, with respect to the RSI, it's at 46 right now, so it's not like super oversold, super overbought either, just neutral, but in the upper echelon of the oversold level. So not a bad level to incur some risk. We just kind of trade on sideways fashion for obvious reasons, because we're not talking about Cardano again. Solana is getting dragged up because of the other coins, right? So it's not really an affectation specifically from Solana, but we are still in the bearish signal right now. We are still leaping downward because there's no indicator of reversing up in comparisons to other coins. With respect to XRP, 88 was the dip, right? Again, and I would say compared to like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin, I think the technical is quite comparable. Again, 88.78 would technically be the extreme bottom. It will be a steal level. But I think with respect to the sustainability that we've been having so far, and on top of the fact that we're not like at the 60 on the RSI scale right now. So I think 88 was technically the dip. Polkadot is just because of the fact that Polkadot is like different in comparisons to other assets. The technical is very different as well. This is not really a head and shoulder pattern. We're slowly forming it, but it's not like in the same spectrum in comparisons to the other one in the same time frame as well. Also, on top of the fact that we are crossing down, so I do see some more bearishness coming. We did hit the 26 today, which was the dip technically, and that's gonna be the dip, right? Because that's a strong level that we've been sustaining for that we crossed so many times and keep bouncing up and down like a ping pong ball at that way, right? At the scale, it's that 47.79, so it's not like the best level. So again, the 26 is the dip technically in this perspective. So with respect to this, the cheat sheet, despite the news on the institutional investors, right, we still need to understand the market cycle. That's what we're at right now. Again, news are never new news. Again, right, they have been regurgitating. They are news are typically some sort of a marination that they want to be using to influence or stir the minds of investors, especially on the public side, right? So something we have to be mindful of, that it might be a creation, it might be just a beef stew that they want to be making for us at the moment, but at the same time poisonous, simultaneously. I know it sounds really morbid, but that's something that it's not the first rodeo that we've been on, right? It's not the first movie we've seen so far. And it can be possible. So definitely, raise your spidey sense up right now. Why are they pumping it right now when we are at the market cycle? And it seems like the market cycle was playing out, right? So, and that it's not going to be a flat line at the anger stage or depression stage, where it's going to see up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So would this be like a jerk that they try to basically manipulate us in the emotional perspective to try to make us fear of missing out and then dump us? Something we have to be thinking about, right? Ultimately, we're in the business of risk mitigation. So I think we have our marching orders to go with. So with respect to the price level, for Ethereum, again, just stay within the frame of reference, 3,000, 2,750, 2,450. I think 3,000 is not a bad level to buy at. Again, it's a fair level based on we've been talking about for the last 2 months so far, right? But if you bought in, let's say $4,000 like weeks ago, just hold, because long-term wise, we would get to these levels, right? And I believe in the next 3 to 5 years, we should technically get to $25,000 per Ethereum, right? So think about that. Does it make sense for you to just sell because you're down a little bit right now? I don't think so, right? So just hold and continue to be a long-term investor, because time will pay off with your patience. So hopefully this is helpful. It's my second posting as of today on Sunday on September 26th. Really appreciate you. I'm going to actually go out and go biking again. Today's a cool day, but not too hot, not too cold either. Fall is definitely coming. And really appreciate you. And again, if you guys really find my work to be useful or instrumental in any ways, feel free to share my work with like two or three of your closest friends. People that you truly love and trust. Because collectively we can help one another. And by doing that, we will have a significant market influence into the price level if we collectively do the same. You know what I'm trying to say? It takes an effort, it takes a village to do or cultivate a mission collectively. And you guys are just one of the ones that are in the early inning of the support system that we try to cultivate alongside one another. I'm just not doing this by myself. I need the help from others for me to be successful. And I think we can all be successful going forward from here. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to actually go get some lunch before I head out. And then I'm going to bike the whole Manhattan, basically. So I look forward to that. So that's it. I really appreciate you. Have a great rest of the weekend. And stay tuned for us to come up. Take care.